Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the Daily Devotionals for Nurses podcast. My name is Tola Olabi, and we have been talking about revival. And previously, I was focusing on Psalm 40, verse 2, talking about the Murray clay as situations where people are trapped. Spiritual, it could also represent a spiritual, emotional, or physical exhaustion that just needs external help. And we are to call on God and we're to seek help. We're not to stay there, right? Because if you stay there, if you're isolated in this situation, you are prey for the enemy. And I do not want that to be our portion, each and every one of us. I don't want that to be our portion. So as we continue on today, let's go to our Bible reading. It says in Psalm 40, verse 2, and I'm reading from the New King James Version. It says, He also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of the murky clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my steps. So now we're going to focus on the B part of that Bible verse. Set my feet upon a rock and established my steps. So as I was just studying up and reading deeper, I actually was going to skip over feet, but I kept coming back to feet because I was just going to start talking about what the rock signified. But I want us to focus today on talking about the significance when the Lord said, and set my feet upon a rock. And I started thinking about it. It's usually when you're on a journey, right? You're walking somewhere. You're using your feet to make progress, right? I'm talking about a journey where you're walking, moving somewhere. And typically the person who falls into a horrible pit, they were typically walking somewhere. So this tells me that in your journey, in your quest in life, you were doing something, you were going somewhere, and life happened. Instead of making progress, you fell into that horrible pit or situation that we've talked about, that I've discussed extensively. But now the Lord will pull you out of that situation using the same feet, right? He's helping you, right? He's helping you make progress. So you're no longer alone. You're no longer isolated. You've asked God for help, or we are all asking God for help. Your feet signify progress. You will make progress no matter where you find yourself right now. No matter what you think has happened or what you think will happen, I want you to think beyond that. Expand the boundaries of your mind and anticipate progress. Anticipate that it's going to be better. Anticipate that it is going to get better. One thing I was also thinking about and also reading about is Ephesians, the book of Ephesians 6:16. Actually, it's in verse 15. It says, and shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. And as I was reading this, the words that came to me was revived to revive. As I said, your feet mean progress. So as you are making progress out of this clay, out of this pit, out of this situation, out of this isolation, basically the symbolism for me is that God is pulling you out. And when he establishes you, he's also going to use you to help other people who've been in your shoes, who've been in that same situation. But he's going to work on you first. right? Because Ephesians 6, I read verse 15, but if you read from verse 13, it's talking about taking the whole armor of God. Taking on the whole armor of God is what it's talking about. And so verse 15, like I said, shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. The gospel of peace. That your feet will also bring the gospel of peace to every single person. So you have been chosen. God will help you. There will be revival. But I want you to just think about the fact that you are being revived to revive others. Because when a father is revived, his children are affected. When a mother encounters God, her children are changed. When a person in the group of friends encounter God, comes out of whatever it is they're dealing with, change comes to that community of friends, to that family. So as we focus on feet today, I just want you to know that change is happening and God is bringing you out of that situation and He is going to use you. If only you will focus on Him, if only you will ask Him for help and come out of that isolation.